Hello, everyone. I am Maria, and I'm the admin of the Money Making Esthetician group. And today we are joined with the lovely,
Mariah Sanchez.
yay! And she was gracious enough to help us with the intake consent form. So she had posted this, I don't know, a while back, and as she got so many questions, and I was like, hey, let's do a workshop because I really feel like this is really elevating the client experience and then also helping you as an esthetician to position yourself as the expert, so they already are coming in like respected and ready, which makes it so much easier to recommend the appropriate products. And then also, that's how you build a lifelong client. So this intake form is really next level to the overall success of your clients' results and then also your own business. So take it away.
I love it. Yes, I completely agree. I think that this was the one piece that I really wish when I first opened my business that I would have started with. I feel like I waited too long to get the right questions and ask the right questions to really help build a relationship. And so I knew that this was something that I was going to be able to help other estheticians with and just feel confident and comfortable, having a good, well-rounded consent and intake form in the treatment room. So I'm excited for this. You guys can probably all see my screen. This is my intake and consent form workshop little thing that I put together just for you guys. And like Maria had said earlier, she will be emailing you guys these slides. So this is a presentation that I made on my own, but she will send it all to you guys so you guys can refer back to this if you have any questions. It also has the step-by-steps you guys will see as well. So you guys can always refer back to this.
So really quick, this is a very good presentation. So we are going to take questions at the end so she can get through it. You will get a replay of this. If you're subscribed to the newsletter, you're going to get these intake forms again via newsletter, and then we're totally going to take questions at the end.
Yes, perfect.
Cool.
Okay, so let's get started. Let's start with our agenda for today, or what we're going to be learning. So the importance of the form. So this is very important. What is the importance of having intake and consent forms? Understanding the different types of forms, because there are different forms that we need in the treatment room. Identifying the key elements to include in your intake forms. Designing effective intake forms. Also how I do this on Jotform. I'm going to walk you guys through that. And then how to review and update the forms and just kind of what that looks like. So this is a brief overview of what the training is going to look like today. So let's talk first about the importance of forms. So there are three main reasons that we have to have forms in the treatment room. And if you guys don't already have forms, I know, I remember someone asking me, do you have consent forms or, forms in your treatment room? And I remember being like, I think they're okay. Yes, maybe. I really truly didn't have all of my I's dotted and T's crossed. But there are three main reasons why this is so important. So understanding the needs and goals of your client. This is important. Again, like Maria said, we want to build a relationship. We want to understand what they expect from us, what their goals are for their skin, getting to know them. And not only that, but making them feel like we take them seriously. We're taking these services seriously. We really want to help them. And if you don't have a proper form and you're not asking the right questions, it's going to be really hard to try and remember all of the things about your client, because there's no way with how many clients we're seeing that we can remember all this. And then also just making sure that we're, on the same page with our client. We know what they're expecting from us and we can track that accordingly, which is how we're going to grow our business. So also ensure the safety for our clients and business. So safety being allergies, making sure we're not harming a client, making sure we're not offering any services that aren't meant for our client. All of these things are crucial. And also for our business, safety for our business, because we need to make sure that, again, if we're offering a chemical peel or we're offering something specific or more advanced treatment, we need to make sure that we are covered and that we are allowed and should be doing this on a specific client. So that is huge. And then also providing protection for us as the professional. So having that consent is, ensuring that we're not going to get sued or no one's going to come after us for performing a service. I have seen this so much, especially with estheticians who feel like they have family or friends and they're like, oh, it's not that big of a deal. I don't need to have them sign. And then something goes south. And obviously we never want this to happen, or we never think this is going to happen, but you just never know. And you can never be too cautious when it comes to the treatment room. So you should always have them fill out these forms every single time. So that is the 3 main reasons that these forms are so important. Okay. Intake versus consent form. So what is the difference between these two? This is something that I get asked about a lot, actually. A lot of people think, well, oh, I only need an intake form, or I only need a consent form. So let's dive into the difference between the two. So number one, the intake form. This is going to be for health. It's going to be for medications that they're taking, allergies, skin goals, client information, anything about what they're currently using in their skincare routine, on their face, treatments that they've had, Botox, all of this is going to be on the intake form. And then the intake form is going to be updated at each appointment. So just, you can go back briefly through, and we'll go through this in a little bit. But you can go back at each appointment when you're doing that skin consultation, and you can update anything that you need, but we want to hold this on file for at least 1 year. So even if a client comes in and you don't see them again for 6 months or whatever, always hold that form on file for at least a year. I actually have all of my clients from like back in 2010, 2000, like forever. Like I keep everything forever. And so I definitely recommend you guys just keeping them for at least 1 to 2 years. The consent form, this is permission to treat and take photos and videos. So the intake form, they're filling out one major form, especially during their, their first time appointment, and then it's being updated throughout the remainder of the time that they're with you. And then that consent form is what they're going to fill out during like when they come in for that consultation, and you are having them fill this out before any and every service. So this is really important because it's giving you permission to treat them or put anything on their face, to lay them down, to assess the skin, any products you're using. It's consenting to treat, and also for photos and videos. And this is something that a lot of people, I don't think, do enough, is asking permission for consent photos and videos. And it's really important that we do that, because again, someone could sue you or come after you for taking videos and photos, maybe posting them for whatever on your page, or having them in your phone. Even you actually can't even have photos of someone else in your phone if there's not consent. So you want to make sure you add that to your consent form. And my consent form already has this on there, so you guys will see everything that I'm talking about on my forms, and you can add them to your forms as well. So what are the key components of your intake form? So these are the major factors, and I'm going to show you guys in a second my form, and we'll go through it. Personal details. So what, their name, where do they work? Occupation is really important, because we need to know, are they working outside? Are they sitting all day? Are they active? Are they, what's their work environment? Because work environment is important. That's what they're doing most of the time. And so we want to ask those personal questions. Also, it's really good to ask on your form, like, who referred you? Where did you hear about me? So that you can always track that as well. I always ask for their birthday, because I want to know if they are prematurely aging. And I know that by having them fill out the year of their birth, it kind of gives me insight onto that. Also, if you want to set up like monthly specials or like birthday specials for your clients, having their birthday on there is another good thing for business building and relationship building as well. Medical history and medications, so important. We know that there are contraindications to facials or certain types of facials, so we have to be really careful. Make sure we have their medical history, if they're under the care of a physician, if they're taking any medications, vitamins, supplements, anything that they're taking, they should be listing. Allergies, we want to make sure both food allergies, because I know there are a lot of different allergies to foods. And if you think about, like, for instance, SkinScript uses a lot of fruit enzymes and fruits in their products. If we have a client who is allergic to different types of fruit, we want to make sure that we are aware and we know what they're allergic to, so we can pull those things out of the treatment room. And you can never be more safe. Like, you can never be too safe. You always want to be more safe than sorry. And then obviously contraindication. So we're looking for certain things or red flags that would indicate that they cannot get a facial. And we know that some of these are, and I actually have a list for you guys. So if anyone needs like a list of contraindications to a facial, I actually have a separate list that I'll send Mariah to send to you guys in the newsletter email. So if you guys just want a little cheat sheet of contraindications, you can have that as well. and their current skincare routine. We need to know, what are they currently using on their face? This is crucial, because if they're not using certain products, or maybe they're using too harsh of products, or they're over exfoliating, all of the things that we learn as estheticians, we need to make sure that all of the treatments that we're offering and products that we're going to be using on them are going to coincide. And so it's really important. In fact, you guys will see on my form, I have my clients send me a picture. Like, I have them line up their skincare routine on their counter or bathroom counter and take a picture and send me exactly what products they're using, so that I know for a fact how to educate them on, maybe we need different products, or maybe we need to switch some things out, or, just the education piece and making sure that we're on the same page. Also opens the door for selling retail too. So if I see that there's certain products that are on that consent or intake form that I'm like, yeah, we should probably switch this around, it gives a good door opener for introducing new products. And then, what are their skin concerns and goals? We want them to write this down. There is something to be said about, it's one thing then when you guys as clients come in, you should be doing an actual consultation. So aside from just these forms, you're sitting down, you're making eye contact, and you're having that consultation with your client. You should also be have them write down what their skin goals are, aside from just telling you face to face, because some people, a lot of people actually, I have found, they feel more comfortable by just like typing it or writing it. And sometimes they feel ashamed, or maybe if they're struggling with acne and they don't like talking about it, maybe they feel insecure about a certain thing. I like to give them the option to be able to type it and write down how they really feel about their skin, so that I can make sure that I am, being kind to their feelings and giving them that opportunity to tell me anything and everything that they are concerned with, or maybe their goals for their skin, and having it written down in paper also, or not paper, but digitally, so that I can track the growth of their, of the progress of their skin and everything as well. And then expectations. This is huge. We want to make sure that expectations are laid out. What do they expect from you? And this kind of goes along with skin concerns and goals. What are their expectations? Are they expecting you to fix their skin in one treatment? Are they expecting, what do they really expect from you? What can you realistically give them? And by having the intake form and these questions, you can really give them expectations and kind of set that standard for them, to make sure that they don't feel like you let them down, or that you're not being honest, or why am I paying for all these facials and I'm not getting results? But if you talk about that from day one in your intake form, then that is going to really save your business. It's going to help you to just be more credible, and it's going to help everything all the way around. So that is the key components to the intake form. I am going to show you guys my example of the intake form. This is what you guys are going to get sent as well. So I'm going to pause this screen really quick and pull up my intake form. In the meantime, since we have, I'll pull this up. If anyone has any quick questions, really quick, Maria, if you want to ask those out loud, if anyone has any right this second while I pull this up. Okay, so this is my intake form, and this is what you guys will get sent today. So you can literally copy the same questions that I have. I just really want to break this down for you guys and show you all of the questions that I ask in my form and why it's so important. And then we will get into how to create your own forms on JotForms. So the number one thing that you'll see here is, please fill out this form within 24 hours prior to your appointment, and bring a current photo of your skincare routine. So I do this because, first of all, these forms are digital. So it allows me to send these forms to my clients 24 hours before the appointment. It gives me time to look things over and kind of get an idea of my client. In fact, you will learn about 50 to 60% of your client before you even see her or him, just from their form alone. So by sending it to them the day before, it gives me plenty of time, if they have any contraindications, or if they're taking any medications or anything that would stop them from getting a treatment, I have time to cancel that, or let them know, hey, I noticed that you have a cold sore. I'm going to have to cancel your appointment and get you rescheduled. And then you're not canceling on them the same day of the appointment. So definitely think about that. And then also, let's see, name, date of birth, occupation. We talked about this as well. Where do they work? And then we get into, tell me about your skin. So is this their first facial? It's important to know if they get treatments regularly or if this is the first time that they've ever had a facial. And then have them describe what best describes your skin. Here, because I'm sharing it with you guys, there's not an option for me to show you guys what that looks like. But it's basically just, how do they view their skin? Do they think they're oily? Do they think they're dry? Do they think how do they feel that their skin is throughout the day? Like, how do they typically feel on a normal day? A lot of them will say, oh, I feel oily all day long. I feel dry. My skin is flaky. They will describe what they see in their skin. And that gives you good insight onto, okay, is this a condition, or is this like a condition based on something that they're using at home? Is it because they're not using the right products? Like, it can help you to kind of decide what's happening to their skin. And then this is also, what are your skin goals? This is where they would fill in, what are their goals? What do they expect from you? What are some things that they want to see improvement in on their skin? And then I have them check all that apply. So what are their skin concerns? And then they can just kind of fill out whatever it is that they, feel they are concerned with. And then, is there any additional concerns you want me to be aware of? And then I give them multiple chances or multiple options to just tell me everything that they're feeling about their skin. Retin-A, any of these vitamin A derivative products, any chemical peels, laser, microdermabrasion within the past 30 days, any brow waxing. So we know as estheticians, these are certain things that, obviously if they just got a chemical peel yesterday, they can't come get a facial. If they've just had waxing, we have to be really careful, or sometimes can't do, certain services. So all of these things are just really important to ask on your form. And then we get into medical history. So are you currently under the care of a doctor? Honestly, you guys, if someone says that they're under the care of a doctor, that is usually like a red flag. Not a red flag, it's a great thing, but it usually means that there's a reason that they're seeing a doctor regularly, because most of us, if I'm just being honest, probably don't see a doctor regularly like we probably should. And if they are under the care of a doctor, that should prompt you to ask, well, why? Tell me more about that. And that's like my favorite term to use, tell me more. So if you have a question or something doesn't make sense, or you need to ask a little bit more, just say, tell me more about that. And then just let them kind of answer that and give you more insight as well. And then these are just, are you using any of the following? We know that all of these are going to be things that can thin the skin or can cause, exfoliation, all the things. So retinoids, benzoyl peroxide, antibiotics, hydroquinone, Accutane, cortisone creams, glycolic, salicylic, and lactic. So as estheticians, we know what these things do to the skin, and overusing them can do to the skin. So I always ask if they're using any of the following, and if they are, they just go ahead and fill that in. And then I have them list any medications that they're currently taking. Now, the reason that I love sending these forms prior is because then I have time to look into these medications and really have an idea of what they're taking. You can literally Google search whatever medication that they put on that form. Google search it and do your research on that medication. What are the effects that it might have on the skin? All of these things are really important to be asking. List any allergies, Botox and fillers. Are you currently on birth control? All of these things, because we know birth control and different hormones can cause breakouts on the skin in different areas. So that could be contributing to it. Also, what type of birth control? So if I could give you girls any advice, I would recommend looking into the different birth controls and the different amounts of hormones that are in each of them to kind of educate yourself on what these birth controls can do and cause, inflammation in the body, or different hormone levels can affect acne in the skin. All of these things are really important. So when they put what birth control they're on, you can have an idea of which one that is. And maybe even, obviously we're not health professionals, so we never want to be like, oh, you should, go off of that and go on this, but you could educate them on maybe a birth control that is a better option for them, as far as if they're breaking out or if they're having, adverse reactions in their skin because of the birth control. Are you trying to become pregnant? And obviously we know if a client is pregnant, we don't want to use any acids on the skin. So that's just why I always ask that. We got to be really careful. And then if they smoke, have you ever had any of the following? So obviously these are more health conditions that we're asking about. Are you claustrophobic? I always ask if they're claustrophobic because number one, my room is really small. I have a 10 by 10 room, so it's pretty small. And I feel like it's just nice to ask. Some of my clients actually prefer me to keep my door open when I'm doing facials. Also, I have the oxygen dome, and sometimes that can be claustrophobic, so that's good to know. And then,
So really quick, is it supposed to be on key components of an intake form still?
no, it
So
should be.
that's what we're on right now.
Oh my gosh, you guys. You don't see.
There we go.
Oh,
Perfect. Now we do it.
oh my gosh, you guys, I am so sorry. Okay, do you see where it says, are you claustrophobic?
Yes.
Okay. Are you claustrophobic? Do you currently have any cold sores or blisters? This will result in your treatment needing to be rescheduled. So with cold sores, obviously we cannot perform facial. So I always ask this, and this is something you really want to look at the day before the appointment to make sure that your clients do not have any active open lesions on the skin, sores, or blisters. And so I always put, this will result in your treatment needing to be rescheduled. So they are seeing that it's not me just canceling on them last minute. They're going to have to reschedule that appointment. Is there anything else you'd like me to know about your skin? And then one question that I ask on here is, would you like to relax during your treatments, or would you prefer to be educated? I love asking this because it gives them the option to either, no, I just want to sleep, or no, I want you to educate me during my entire treatment. Every client is very different. And then I have on here, I use Instagram, and then I put my Instagram for both promotional and educational purposes. Do you consent photos and videos during your service? And then they can click yes or no. And then below today's date, they sign and then they submit. So once they submit it, that goes to my email. So I have a copy in jot form, and then also via email as well. And then I just have a little statement here that talks about I understand, I've read this questionnaire truthfully and all the things, just like the basic legalities here. And then they submit that, and that goes to me, and that is my intake form. So now I will show you guys the difference between that and the consent form. So can you guys see the top? It says Project SD, and then do you see this?
Yes.
Yes. Okay, good. So this is the consent form. So the consent form, again, is different than the intake form. And this one is a little more in depth, and it's basically releasing you from everything. And I have this all typed out. You guys can literally use the exact same verbiage that you want for your guys's consent forms. And then I also have another one on here that talks about photos and videos as well. So they consent during the intake form, and then also on the consent form as well. And then again, they submit this. This has to be done every single appointment. So this form is going to be every single time. Okay, so now we are going to go to jot form. So let me give you guys the list here. Let's see. If you guys have any questions while I pull this up, Maria, if they have any questions, we can answer a few of them right now.
Okay, I'm right here. Do you guys have any questions?
Okay, so this is a step-by-step on how to create your forms on JotForm. So this is an actual list that Maria will send you guys, so you can refer back to this. I'm going to show you guys here, like on my screen, how to create the form. But this is a list in case it's a little bit confusing. JotForm can be confusing sometimes, so I put together this list for you guys to make it a little bit easier.
So there was one question that said, do you only use JotForm or a booking software for the forms?
So I only use JotForm. I embed the code. So once I create my form, I just copy that code and I embed it into my booking site, which is Gloss Genius. Gloss Genius gives you the option to add it to your, it will Gloss Genius automatically sends my form to my clients. And so a lot of the booking platforms have this option. You can use this with all of them. Okay, let's see. So now I'm going to take you guys to JotForm. And I'm going to pretend, and I actually just created a whole new account so you guys could see it from start to finish what this looked like. Okay, so when you guys go into Jotform, can you guys see this Jotform screen here?
Yes.
Yes. So this is where you will send, once you sign up for account, this is exactly what it will look like when you open up the account. So on the top left-hand side or right here, you can go create form. And then from here, you can actually use a separate template. So like if you don't want to use my exact form, which you guys totally can, if you don't want to, you can go to use template and actually search facial intake forms, and like a billion of them will come up. You will have to go through them, kind of sort through them if you want to, but I'm going to show you guys how I just start from scratch. So I clicked start from scratch. You're going to start a whole new form, and then you can do either a card form or you can do a classic form. Card form is just basically like one little block at a time. I prefer classic form. This, for me personally, I like the classic. And this is all customizable. So as you can see, it's completely blank. And we're just going to go in and ask all of the questions that we want. So at the top here, you'll see add your logo. And this is where if you guys have Canva and you have your own logo, like a photo of your logo, you can upload that here so that it makes your form a little more personalized. So I'm going to click on that and just do my images. And I'm going to click on my logo. And then you can use the logo size here and kind of expand it, or however. I know a lot of girls ask, how do you get your logo on there and make it cute and colorful? That's how I do it. I just add it there. And then this little blue paint roller here on the right hand side, if you click on that, that is where you can change the colors of your form. Okay, so now on the left-hand side, we have add form element. So we're going to click on that. And then all of these from the drop down are where you add in all of the things that you want to add to your form. So I had a heading on there. If you guys saw my little send your, picture of your skincare routine 20 or 24 hours before your appointment, that was from here. So I'm just going to click heading here, and you can go ahead and type please, or you can put welcome to Project SD, blah, 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 whatever you want to add there, a little welcome introductory thing. You can put that there. And then you could put maybe, send me a picture of your current skincare routine. I love having this on there. I have never seen a form that had that on there. And something that I kind of adopted, but if you guys want to add that to your form, I think it'd be super, super helpful. But you could put that there. And then we're going to do all of the things that we need. So you can do first name, have them fill out their name. If you want their email, if you want their address, if you want their phone number, all of these things, you can add them in, or you don't have to. And then at the bottom, let's see, we have different options. So you can do single choice, drop down, paragraph, however you want to create your form. So if you want them to type in something, so let's say you're asking them a question, you want them to give you an answer, you can do short text or long text or even a paragraph. So depending on how long or short you expect this to be, you will add it. So let's do short text. So this could be like, let's see. What's a short text question? Let's see. Let's do long text actually. So what is your skin? I would say if you're going to ask them, what are your skin concerns, or have them type in something like, what are your skin concerns? You could say, what are your skin concerns? And then have them type that in there. Easy. And then when we do, let's see, drop down. So this one is going to be, you can type in whatever question you have, and then you type in your own options for them. So for instance, what is your Fitzpatrick, or do you tan easily in the sun? These are all questions that you can ask to get like their Fitzpatrick scale, for instance. You could also do, how does your skin typically feel? And you can have them drop down and do oily, it feels dry, it feels however, and you can actually go in and add in all of these as well. And then let's see, everything else, let's see, is we could do single choice. So single choice, you guys could have them just fill out this, or you could do multiple choice and just do yes or no. So you could say, on my form, you guys will see some of my questions are just yes and no questions. You could just take out these options here and just leave it to two, option 1 and 2, and just be yes and no. So for this could be any yes or no question here. I know this might seem a little bit confusing, but I promise once you guys play with it, it's not that confusing. Do you guys, and Marie, if you want them to ask some questions now, I'm sure some questions are probably coming up right this second. If you girls want to ask, we can answer those now as I'm going through this.
Okay. How do you handle those who do not fill out the form? Do you have the tablet for them to do it at the appointment?
Yes, great question. So I do. I have my computer, or you can honestly, you can even have it from your phone. So you can literally pull up, if you guys download Jotform on your phone as an app, you can pull it up and I just hand them my phone and they just fill it out right there before their appointment. I really always strongly recommend my clients to fill these out before, and I will send them reminders. Like I will resend it or even text it to them if they haven't filled it out yet. Just like when you guys go to the dentist and they're like, hey, don't forget to fill out your forms. I do the same thing. I'm kind of annoying, but I really need time to look them over. But if I have a client who's like a last minute or a walk-in client, I definitely have the option on my phone to submit it.
She said, my clients are 70 and over. That is difficult.
That is, and you know what? I love that you asked that questions, because yes, I have had that question before, and even I have clients who are a little bit older and don't even know how to use a phone. And so I will actually fill out the form for them. Like I will sit down with them and then fill out the form with them. And then I will just have them signature and date, and I can let them read through it if they want to read through it or have any questions. And then they just sign at the bottom, which right here on the very, let's see, where is it? Signature. So right here on the left-hand side, you see signature, you add that signature there, and that is where they will use their hand or the little mouse if you're using a computer, and they will just sign it and then submit. One thing I want to add really quickly, you have to add this submit button. So on the left-hand side, you see submit here. At the very end of your form, make sure you add this submit button, and whatever email you used to create this Jotform account is the email that all of these forms are going to get sent to. So make sure that your email is up to date, that you check it regularly, and that you have access to it. You didn't like forget your password or anything, so you can actually get into it. And that when they hit that submit button, it will go directly to your email. Okay, any other questions about this? Okay, I'm going to keep
Somebody
going.
said I may have missed this.
May have missed what?
Do you send it through reminders?
Yes. Okay. So so for instance, Gloss Genius, depending on the booking site that you use to send this out, they will have the option for reminder. So it will send them automatic reminders. Like I know Gloss Genius offers this as an option. So I can give them 2 reminders before if they haven't filled it out. And it will send them, I have a text message, so it will literally text them and then also send them an email. So that's why none of my clients rarely ever don't fill it out. I pester them.
Got it. That's what I do. Just making sure it's the best method.
Yes, definitely. Okay, so then when you are finished, I'm not going to build my entire form. You guys get the gist of how to use the left-hand side here to add in all of the things that you need, and then fill in the question. So when Maria sends you guys my form, you guys can take the questions that I have on mine and literally implement them in the question, and the entire form. You can basically make your entire form. Does anyone have any other questions about like creating the form or like adding certain things in? Okay, so we are going to go, once you have your form figured out and all of the questions that you want to ask are on there, you've added a submit button. Again, very important to add that submit button. We're going to go up here in the middle where it says build, settings, and publish. We're going to hit settings. And on the left-hand side, you're going to do emails. Let's see. Yeah. So right here, when you click emails, you just want to make sure that the email address that you're using for them, again, is going to, like, you want all of these to get sent to the right email. So if you need to edit it or add a different email, you can, just making sure that Jotform is sending all of your forms to your email. And then let's see, you can have a thank you page. So after they have submitted the form, they will receive a thank you page, and you can edit this. So if you want to like put in a picture of you or of your space, or maybe like a little note that says, can't wait to meet you, or whatever, you can edit that at the thank you page as well. And then right here on integrations, this is where you can integrate it to multiple different outlets. So you can go through these specifically, like for instance, if you have, I don't know why you would need Zoom, but if you want, like if you're doing over the phone calls, you could integrate it with Zoom, PayPal, all of these. Honestly, I think you guys probably won't need to do this, but it's good to know where it's at in case you ever do want to add those there. And then the Jotform sign. So you want to make sure, let's see, Jotform sign, let's see. Mine is on. So right here, you can click it on and off. You want to make sure that this is on, because if it's not, then their signature won't save. And a lot of you, the girls had asked, oh, well, Jotform didn't let me save it. Make sure that on the Jotform sign, it's enabled and it is on. And then you can also do notifications via text. So I have mine on, so it will text me about their form too. So it will send you a text message as well. This is not for your client though. This is just for you as the one who's hosting it.
Do you have to have a paid subscription, or is it free?
So Jotform is free for the first 5 forms. So if you have more than 5 forms, it will not be free, but it is free for the first 5. And I believe you guys should only need a few. So it depends on the services that you offer though. When it comes to like what forms you need, you definitely need your master intake form, your consent form, and then if you're doing waxing needs to be a separate form. If you need like chemical peels, those are going to be separate, or all the advanced services will be separate. But a lot of your basic facials, like dermaplaning and all the things, you don't have to necessarily be separate. Those can all be under your one consent form. So you could easily make under 5 forms. And then when you're finished, you will go to publish. So publish, this is where you're going to get that link. So right here, you'll copy link, and that is where you can send, that's your exact form. So that's the form that you just made. You can copy that, and then you can post that into your Square or Gloss Genius or whatever app you're using. You can copy it and paste it in there so that it automatically sends, or you can email this to your client directly. You can text it to them directly and they can fill it out anywhere. So that is how you actually do that. And then I also have, I use Gloss Genius. So I actually had a list of like how to do this. So how to link the Jotform form into your Gloss Genius account. I think, Maria, do you still have that? I think we posted it to stories.
We did post it to stories.
Okay, I will find that so that you can email them that as well if they choose Gloss Genius. It's the same with Square. You can embed it in and just copy the link here and just add it onto, you know, even if you want to put it on your Instagram, you could put it like add a link to your stories even for your clients to fill out and save it to your highlights so they always can refer back to it. That would be a good idea as well. Okay, so I'm going to pause this. Okay, what questions do you guys have so far?
Okay, I'm watching. Somebody said if they're going to get the replay. Yes. And you also get all the intake forms in the email.
Yes.
And you guys could also book a call with Mariah.
I know it's very confusing. I feel like it's a lot. Hopefully that was like enough for you guys to kind of see how to make them, how to copy it, and like the things that need to be added on there. I see someone said, how do you store your forms? Do you put it in a file on your computer, or is it saved to Gloss Genius? So these forms are actually saved in, they're saved in Jot form. So Jot form itself. So when you download the app or you have it, like when you sign in, it will automatically save all of your forms, which is so nice. Because if a client comes in, you can literally just click, like type in your client's name and their form will pop up, which is awesome. And then also with Gloss Genius, I will just take, I have like a client portal or like a client where all my clients' information is saved. So you can put this in there as well if you want to, all my before and after photos, so that I'm saving those in there as well. Those can all be kind of combined together. But it also, I have a copy in Gloss or a copy in Jotform and then a copy to my personal email as well. So if anything were to happen to my email, at least I have the Jotform intake forms. And then if anything were to happen to Jotform, I have it via email. So you always have a copy and you can always send your client a copy if they would like a copy as well.
So the moment they book an appointment with Gloss Genius, they get this.
Yeah, so as soon as they book an appointment, I have Gloss Genius set up to where it automatically sends them the intake form. The only thing is you can only choose one at a time. So I can only choose one form at a time. And I prefer to do the intake form because I think that's the most important, because they can fill in the consent form at the day of the appointment. So I have them fill out that consent form after they come in and I've done like the consultation with them. Okay, how have you been? Maybe if you want to update. So that's the thing that I was going to say too. If you need to update these forms, like let's say they change a medication or something's changed, you want to just go in and edit their form and refill that out at each appointment, so that if they're taking new medication, you're aware of it, all of the things. And then also with the consent form, when they come in, it's just a signature and date. So it's not going to take a lot of time and they're just going to sign and date that before every single appointment.
I totally see how this could be super beneficial. I know, like, because clients come in a little more at ease.
Yeah, I feel like it definitely, let's see. Okay, sorry, I just saw this question. I have all my forms separate. So dermaplane and microdermabrasion has on some. What would be the easiest way to add them to my intake form since they are detailed treatments? So in this case, I would actually on your intake form or your consent form, list out all of the services that you offer and put them all on a list. Like I'm consenting for any and all of the following services to be provided. And then you could actually put individually microdermabrasion, dermaplane, whatever it is that you add, so that if they choose to add on a service during their treatment, instead of making them refill out a whole new form, they have already signed for all of the facial treatments that you could potentially add on, if that makes sense. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does.
Okay.
Do you know if Square also offers everything that Gloss Genius does?
So Square had been a little bit behind on the integration of intake forms or like forms, but I know that they have it now. I think you do have to pay a little bit more for it, but they do offer it, yes. And it would be the same thing. You would copy the code and you would just implement it right into Square.
I don't believe Square offers forms yet.
Okay, so I think it must, I recently saw that they just implemented this. So either I will look into this for you guys and I'll go on my stories and talk about that or share if they have or not. But I'm almost positive you have to just pay a little bit more for it, or they are working on it, or they have just launched it. But I know that that was huge. Everyone was like, how can Square not have forms embedded? So I will find out for you guys. Okay, let's see. Okay, I can't see the chat anymore. So if anyone has any more questions, just let me know.
You guys are also welcome to hop on. Like, your mic's on. She said a little off topic, but do you have any tips on consultation?
Yes, I do. I actually love that you asked that question. I have a checklist actually, which Maria, will you write this down so I do not forget? I will have you can send it to them as well.
Yeah.
I love consultation. So my best words of advice are going to be making eye contact with your client. Like that's huge. Making eye contact with them so that they know that you're serious, that you're asking them questions. The other thing too is like sitting down with them and being face to face instead of having them come in and lay down and then you're just kind of talking to them while they're looking at your ceiling. I think it's really important to have them sit down in front of you and just asking them questions. The best thing you can do if you're new to this is pull up their intake form on your computer or on your phone and kind of be reading through it and looking it over. And again, if you're kind of doing your research on the things that they're already doing prior to their appointment, then you already have an idea a little bit about them. And you can kind of, they feel that you already did a little bit of research. They feel that you already know a little bit, which makes them feel a little more at ease. It makes them feel like you care. It makes them feel like you took the time to think about them and the treatments that you were going to do. And so I think that's crucial. And again, it just is going to build a relationship with your client.
So far I have eye contact, face-to-face, pull up intake form.
Yep. Pull up their intake form, look over this while you are talking with them. And then just letting them talk. Let your client be the leader in that consultation. You should be the expert and you should be listening and taking in as much information as you can your brain should be spinning of ideas or things that you're thinking, maybe we should look into this. And then also you want to do a skin analysis right after that. So after you do that consultation and they're coming in, you want to make sure that they're getting that skin analysis as well. So this is just goes right on top of that. The analysis is the thorough double cleansing and then analyzing the skin. That paired with that consultation and intake form is the most important piece to any esthetician's treatment room right there.
Cool. So I'm going to say again, because I'm going to put it in the email. So
okay,
eye contact, face to face, pull up the intake form, look over it while you let them talk, let them lead the conversation, listen to them talk, and then skin analyze.
Exactly. Yep.
Are there any keywords that they should maybe throw out there?
Keywords. I would just say, I
understand you.
Mm-hmm. Keywords. I don't know as far as keywords. I would just say the most important piece is your client feeling that you care about their needs. You care about their skin more than just okay, lay down, let's get started. It's tell me about your skin. Tell me what your goals are. Why do you feel this way about your skin? What do you expect from me? And one thing that you can do too, and one thing that I said is if I have a magic wand and I can fix 3 things on your skin, what would those 3 things be? And that kind of helps your client eliminate, or just kind of get to the point. What exactly do you want me to fix? And by asking that question, it gives them you a really direct answer of what they're looking for.
Should a chemical peel or microneedling be in the same form?
No. So chemical peel and microneedling should be their own forms. Yeah. So those should be separate because they are advanced. So anything that's more advanced should be separated. So chemical peels, microneedling, obviously laser, and then waxing. Those would all be separate.
So since we talked about the intake form, what should be the end? So they got the chemical peel. They did the beginning. How should they finish the appointment?
Checking them out. Obviously, we want to add notes. So this is really important. Adding notes for your client. The best thing that you can do is take notes on your client's skin during that skin analysis. So what I do is after I analyze the skin, I will go back and analyze the skin, decide what their skin type, skin conditions, anything that's turning in my head. I'll step aside, take my gloves off or whatever, step aside, take notes in my computer right then and there. So I have Gloss Genius, so I'm able to take client notes, and I will put anything and everything that I see. I'll take before and after pictures. I'll take my notes. Since I'm already in the process of my gloves are off and I'm using my phone, I'm also taking notes. And then obviously we're going to wash our hands, sanitize before we go back into the treatment. This is also a really good time to take video. So if you're going to take a video, this is that smooth transition to kind of turn on your phone and get ready to record because you're already taking notes and touching your phone. And so that's what I do. And then making sure that you have notes, everything that you're doing. If you're doing a chemical peel, how many layers of chemical peel are you doing? Are you going to do? What products, specific products, did maybe your client have a reaction? Any little thing, the more detail, the better. And you can put those notes into your appointment. Now, what I love about Gloss Genius is after I do that, Gloss Genius sends me a text message right before each and every appointment. So every time I have a client who has an appointment, Gloss Genius sends me a note and it reminds me or shows me an overview of all of the notes that I had put for that client. And it just like helps you. It's like a doctor being able to look over the patient's forms before he walks into the room. And you're like, how did you know that? But he just did a little bit of research. Gloss makes it so easy so that you can do that, which I absolutely love. And then also updating that form is crucial. And that's kind of like the ending or the closing to this whole presentation is reviewing that form, making sure they don't just fill it out one time and then you never look at it again. Every appointment during that consultation, you should make sure that it's updated, that nothing's changed. Are they pregnant now? Anything. These are really, really good things. And you can actually message them like the day before. Hey, has anything changed? I'm so excited to see you tomorrow. Is there anything that on your form that's changed or needs updating? And then you can go in and fill that in as well. So far, I have written consent forms. When do I go online with forms? Do you recommend I go into job form myself and get these current clients or ask them to fill out themselves again, which may annoy some people in the online system? Okay, so here's a good thing that I could help you with, Joanna. Number one, by you going from paper to digital is going to help you build credibility with your clients. So I think they will probably appreciate that you are updating your business. Like that's a great thing. And I think it will put a lot of people at ease for one. Number two, some of the questions that you're going to have on this form, because it's going digital, you'll probably have new questions and different questions. And you could just come out with like a mass email blast that's like, hey girls, or hello clients, I'm updating my forms. We're going digital. I would, all clients, gently asking them to refill it out. I don't think that they would get annoyed. If it's like a make or break and your clients are just like not doing it, then I would just have them come in for their appointment and then just fill it out with them or for them when they come in. And it's okay if it annoys them, honestly, because you're doing your job, you're doing the best that you can, and you're being very thorough with your business. So there's no such thing as, being too much. And then I'm just going to answer. Oh, Joanna, you said up top as well about a copy of the intake forms. Yep, Maria is going to send those to you guys as well. Do you guys have any other questions that have come up? Okay, so that was the end. That was the finish. The last and final piece would be to review the forms regularly and ensure that they remain relevant and accurate because things change and clients change and everything. So it is important to make sure that you're updating those regularly. I hope you guys found that helpful. I know that job form can be kind of confusing and can be a lot, but hopefully that made you guys or gave you a little bit of insight onto how to create them and how to embed them into your, other areas. If you guys have more questions, please feel free to ask or feel free. I'm going to put my email in the chat so you guys can email me if you guys have questions. It's mariahsanchez.info@gmail.com. If you guys have specific questions regarding this or anything, you guys just let me know.
I'm also going to add it in the newsletter later, contact and socials.
Perfect.
So just to say it again, you said eye contact, face to face. Pull up the intake form. Look over it while you're look over the intake form while you're looking at them. Let them lead the conversation. Listen to them and then analyze the skin. Act like you care. One of the things that you like to say is if I have a magic wand and there's 3 things, what would you like to change about your skin? And then check out.
What can I say? If you could fix any 3 things, what would they be?
If you could fix any 3 things, what would they be? And then check out. Take notes.
Take notes. There's no such thing as too many notes. Every little thing. For instance, if you are tinting brows, make sure you write the formulation that you use for their brow color. I have clients who are like, oh, I prefer when you tint first and then wax after. And I literally have a note in there that says, okay, she prefers to wax first and then tint, just like the little things. Sometimes even if it's like their birthday, the next time or near their birthday, I'll even put, oh, next appointment is close to their birthday or they're going on a vacation, those little reminders. And then when it pops up before their appointment, they're like, oh my gosh, you remembered. And I'm like, yes. Yes.
That's a really good touch for sure.
Yes.
So I put the link to the newsletter.
Yeah, so for those of you guys asking, subscribe to the newsletter and then she will send you guys everything as well.
Yeah, I'm gonna send over this, the video, your intake forms, your email, your socials. Yay.
Perfect. I love it. Well, thank you guys. Thank you for having me. I hope you learned something new. And if you guys again have any questions, let me know. Maria,
Oh my
you're
God.
the best.
This was so good. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. And yes, it will be on replay for everyone asking. Yes.
The replay will be in the newsletter. Yay. Okay, guys.
Okay. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.